Well. Look here, everybody. We are back again for another episode of the Soul Sessions featured here on Wrestling Republic. My guest for me today is the Dragon, Kid Cymru. How are you doing, pal?
I'm not too bad. You're right.
I'm very well. I mean, the UK right now is hot as shit and we're getting by, but hey, just another day in the beautiful country, eh, pal?
That's it. Exactly.
Aye, mate. So for our viewers who are not familiar with yourself, pal, just what's your history within the wrestling business? How did you get involved as well in the first place?
Well, I've been probably involved in it now for about 9-ish years. I started training 2013,
Oh, well.
just as something different to do and something to get fit. And it just went from there, really. It's like I say, I've always loved wrestling since I was kind of like 5 years old. Since I started watching, like I say, we always say we've been really lucky in Wales. We had our own wrestling show, and it was on every Saturday night. So we didn't have to rely on Sky to get the WWF back then or anything like that, you know. So we had our own show where we could watch, and best thing about it was they'd come to the area as well, you know. So not only were we watching on TV, but we'd actually go to the show itself, you know. So yeah, no, I've always loved wrestling like that, and like I say, when it was my eldest who started getting into wrestling. I
Okay.
didn't push him or nothing, but he started getting interested in it, and Welsh Wrestling happened to be doing a tour, and again they came to the local area, local theatre, and we went and watched it, and from there it just went from right, let's see who these guys are, let's kind of do that, and then saw that they actually ran a wrestling school kind of half hour up the road from where I was, you know.
Oh, well, it's all, very well close to you as well, because obviously Welsh is a very close-knit community as well, and just having everything
That's
all
it.
local, it just works in the best interest for you as well, eh?
That's it exactly,
Aye, as
exactly.
well. And I also believe you've done some bodybuilding as well with the NABBA UK.
That's
I was
it. Yeah.
wondering,
Like I say, I managed to get a first in my category this year in the NABA competition in Wales, and went on to the British, where I managed to place fourth as well. So I was really happy with that. It's
well, congratulations, mate. That's an excellent,
yeah, thank you very much.
accolade to do for yourself. Well done. I was just
No,
wondering, for bodybuilding and wrestling, is there something you could take from bodybuilding into wrestling and vice versa?
well, I to be honest, my kind of love with wrestling came from the way the wrestlers looked. You know, as I
Mm,
were, especially when we finally had Sky, and or at the time it was a case of getting the one guy in the village to record the pay-per-views for us and stuff like that. You know, so when we passed the tapes around and whatever, it was just seeing these guys. And back when I started watching it, it was like everyone was huge, everyone was massive, like
mm,
big arms, big chests, and stuff like that. And it just kind of drew you to it. And it's like, to me, that was a wrestler. And when I was old enough then to start training, it was like, right, I'm going to do weights. I want to get big. I want to get the thing. And it's kind of like when you start wrestling yourself, then it's like you've got that thing of, I got to look like a wrestler. I can't just be going out there just looking like I've just stepped up from the order. Like I got to set myself apart, you know.
mm,
And like I say, obviously getting older, it was much harder to out train your diet, if you know what I mean. So whereas
mm.
grew up on a farm, able to, well, I had an appetite like a horse, you know, just kept on eating and stuff like that. It's just when you kind of hit 30, it was like, yeah, it's not coming off as easy. So um, I basically got in touch with a local PT and just followed the diet plan, and kind of like thought, oh, it's going all right. And I wouldn't mind giving bodybuilding a go. So it just went from there, really. It's like they've both kind of worked together, if you know what I mean. So they go hand in hand, you know, for
Aye, a perfect unison between the two, things you
that's
love.
it, exactly.
That's very well done. And we've had
Exactly.
previous guests on the show as well, August Artois of Control Your Narrative, ECC promotion, and he started later in his career as well, around age 38. And I was just
hmm
wondering, with later in age, what's one thing you find harder with maintaining your obviously physique? Is it just diet control as well, or is it just adapting new plans for training?
Um, Diet is the main thing for me. I've always loved my training type of thing, you know, and I kind of my training hasn't really changed over the last kind of 10 years. It's been the same kind of principles. And well, I say 10 years, I say since I started training, it's the same kind of principles that I've followed really. I haven't gone into kind of CrossFit or haven't gone kind of different ways. Like it is more or less like the same training plans you read in Muscle and Fitness 20 years ago, kind of thing, you know. So yeah, it's mainly been the diet and the just the education of the diet, really, because before wrestling, I used to do karate, and obviously that was more kind of a cardio-based sport. So you could out-train your diet with that as such, if you know what I mean. So it was like you'd rely on the training more there. But as you got older, more responsibilities, kids, kind of work, you know, everything like that. It's like the time to actually get that kind of level of cardio in to burn off everything that I ate was hard to find. So it was a case of, right, I got to work now on my diet, marry it in with my training, and marry it in with my life in general, you know. So diet is key for me personally.
Well, hey, if you're to hear, folks, you know, if you're trying to get into shape, diet is the main thing you got to control.
Yeah.
Within the UK, we've got many promotions. Up here in Scotland, we've got ICW. Down south, there's Progress and Rev Pro. But for Wales, I believe there's obviously one of the big promotions down there is Wales Wrestling or Welsh Wrestling. I just want to talk about that promotion as well, because obviously it's one of your homegrown ones, and you've done this massive tour as well. Just give our fans some ideas on Welsh Wrestling.
Well, basically, we on the last count, we had 270 shows a year. So,
Jesus.
and that was before kind of like a few other shows kind of slotted themselves in there as well, you know. So, yeah, we do. We've got the theatre shows. We got kind of just town hall shows. We got like village hall shows. We do the summer camps. We've had the Haven contract this year as well. So it's like we do a variety of different kind of places and stuff. And like I say, over the summer, we've been more or less doing a show every day, 2 shows most days. And like I say, just going from there, really. I mean, you've got to give credit to Alan, who runs Welsh Wrestling. I mean, I remember sitting with him when I first started, and we were kind of there going, oh, imagine if we had a show a week. You know, how cool would that be to have one show every week throughout the year? And now it's like we're kind of bored if we're not doing 3 shows a week. You know, it's like that. And like I say, over the summer from the start of, I'd say mid-June to mid-September, we've basically got shows every day. So yeah, he's worked his backside off to get Welsh Wrestling where it is today. And I can't think of many promotions that actually do more shows than us. Obviously, you've got WWE, but they've got the world, we've got Wales, you know.
Yeah.
So that's kind of just where you're looking at it, you know. But yeah, no, he's worked his backside off to get Welsh Wrestling where it is today.
Definitely. Congratulations to the lad. He's done his work. He's done his dues as well.
Oh, yeah.
With those amounts of dates as well, do you find they're a bit of a struggle? It's like basically like this big commitment, or do you feel like you can adapt to it and get used to it?
Like I say, it's again, it just kind of becomes part of your life. I mean, if you want to be a wrestler and you want to wrestle, I mean, that's what it is. Basically, it's like that commitment you got to give. Really, I mean, there's no good being like wanting to be a wrestler and then be like, yeah, I can't do this day, I can't do that day, or I'm not going to go there because the crowds aren't big enough, or I only want to do this show because there's going to be 900 people there and stuff like that. You just got to take it all. I mean, that's what kind of the crew of boys we've got now kind of pride ourselves on, is no matter what type of show it is, whether it's a camp show, whether it's like a massive theatre show or whatever, people who come to watch us, they'll get the full show. It won't be phoned in, or it won't be like, oh, you know, there's only kind of a couple hundred here, so we're not going to do this, so we're not going to do that. It's like we go out there to give them a show, you know?
Yeah, definitely. You know, people are paying their hard-earned money and to come see them. You got to give them the best that you can deliver.
That's it, exactly. And it kind of pays off because, like I say, I'm an electrician as well, so that's my day job type of thing. And it's like you go to work in people's houses and you're doing stuff, and you look around and there's like a Welsh Wrestling poster on, and it's like before last year I used to wear a mask So it's like the poster. I was on the poster with a mask on, and it was like they just didn't have a clue that it was just like, oh, I've been to the wrestling, and they're like, yeah, it was brilliant. We loved it. Guys were great. I was like, oh, there we are, tidy. Yeah, it's like
It works
but
out well.
yeah, that's it. Like I say, I mean, it does pay off, and people kind of they kind of follow us around. It's like we
Mhm.
do, like especially with the camp shows. I mean, we've got a show on a Monday in Portugal. We got one on Tuesday, then kind of like Breen Sands over, just the other side of Bristol. We come back then to Carmarthen and Tenby on Wednesday, and we got like a local show in Llanelli on Thursday. And it's like we have to change each show up because you've got people coming from one show to the next show to the next, just watching us because it's like, well, the kids were bored and they wanted something to do, so we're
Mhm.
coming to. So it's not like, oh yeah, we'll just do the same thing over and over and over type of thing. It's like I say, when you've got that level of commitment from the people who come to watch you, you got to give that level back.
No,
So
absolutely. You got to reward the hardcore audience. Just make every show unique, no matter wherever you go.
exactly,
Nah.
exactly.
And I also believe Welsh Wrestling just recently crowned a new champion as well. Ricky Bamba was now
Ricky
the new
Bamba,
champion.
yes,
I
yeah,
just
he
want,
won it last Wednesday night.
yeah, well done to that. I mean, I just want your thoughts on that whole night as well, and seeing him being crowned champion.
Oh, do you know, it was, it's always when a new champion. It's like when Big Dog got crowned champion, I was really chuffed. I was actually working up in Stratford at the time, so I wasn't on the show. And it's like I came back in from work, and the first thing when I checked my phone is like saw him with a belt. I thought, well, it couldn't have happened to anyone better. I was really chuffed for him. He was the first guy that kind of started coaching me in wrestling and stuff like that. And to see him then like win the belt, like you kind of you're happy for the guy. And like then to be on the show when Ricky won it, I was gutted not to kind of win it myself, but
Mm.
I mean, if anyone's going to win it, Ricky's going to. You have a really good laugh with him when he's on the shows and stuff like that. And he's a great guy to be around, and like I say, great guy to tag with, and great guy to be in the rumble with. It's not is really chuffed. It's and like I say, the crowd were loving it as well, and it's all about that. So it's as long as the crowd are happy, I mean, things went well. It was
That's it.
really
As
good.
long as everyone's having a good time and everyone's having a great
Exactly.
environment,
Got
that's
to
it.
send them home happy.
Exactly. That's it at the end of the day. Obviously, one big thing now in the wrestling fandom is the forbidden door term. People go to other promotions and stuff like that. If
Mhm.
you were able to have Welsh wrestling go against another UK promotion, either up in Scotland or down in England, who would you pick and why? Which promotion?
Um, do you know what? It's something I've never really thought of. We've like because we've got quite a few guys from other promotions who actually come to work with us when we work around the country and stuff, and when we go to different camps and different places like that. You got guys. I mean, we did the first Haven show we did. We had Tyson T-Bone on. I mean,
Oh,
I thought that was great. I mean, I think his work is great. I think he's a great wrestler. So to have him on the show then it was like, and with him being with NXT UK at the time, it was just that another opportunity, really. I
mhm.
mean, Wild Boar used to be on the shows with us. He's a great guy to work with. I mean, he is wrestling wise. I mean, he's one of the best out there. It's quite funny because he was on the shows and he was at one camp. I think it was Breen Sands. We were on a show and. I think it was four of us in the ring at the time, and the crowd started. These kids just started because he was doing his whole gimmick, like he was going around and he's doing all his thing, and the crowd started chanting at him, "You can't wrestle," and the rest of us just looked at each other in the ring, going, "Well, if he can't wrestle, there's no way we can." You know what I mean? And it was just the irony. We we started all smirked at each other. In the thing, and thought if only they knew. But like I say, that's just goes to show as good his character is as well. That
Mm.
he was, and obviously he played along with it as well. But
No.
no, the guy's a great wrestler. But yeah, like I say, I mean, other people around the UK. I mean, I think because obviously we've been so lucky with the guys we're working with at the moment and the guys who come in and everything
Mhm.
like that. I mean, Chris Rico, great wrestler, great villain to be against. You got Stevie Starr, who used to be in NXT.
Mm.
He went out there for a year back in 2012, I think it was 2012, 2013. You got Red Nova, awesome high flyer. The guy, like I say, his technical ability and everything. I mean, you can't ask for more. And definite workhorse. I mean, he's, every show he's on, and again gives 100% on every show, you know. And it's like just all the guys, like obviously Big Dog, been around for years. He was on the Transatlantic Wrestling Challenge. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It was on ITV 6 o'clock before Pop Idol. Yeah, he was on that type of thing. So you know he's been around a bit, and always remind him of the time that he actually fell out the ring on TV at the kind of prime time ITV thing. But by the by on that. But like I say, because we do get so many good wrestlers in with us, and I know I've missed a lot of people out, but it's like everybody who comes in with us, we like I say, they're great guys. It's something I've never thought about of going actually against another promotion in the UK, you know. But you definitely got to think of love working with the All Star Boys. That would be a good kind of cross promotional thing. You got the guys there. I mean, Dean Allmark, James Mason, Joel Redman. I mean, Joel's another great guy. Another great guy who's always in shape as well. I mean, he's never out of shape. The guy is. I don't know what he is, but it's like there's a few names I'd like to call him because he's in the shape all the time. But he's a great guy. He's the thing on it. But like I say, the guys we've got kind of consistently on our shows because of the standard they bring. Like I say, an interpromotional thing is just something that hasn't crossed my mind, to be honest.
Who knows what the future holds, eh? You never know.
Exactly. I say not that I'm against it, but it's just I just love the wrestling that we're doing now at the moment, and it's just something I haven't really thought about.
No, you never know. Whatever. You spoke of NXT UK as well, and recently there was the whole thing about it. You know, people being shipped over to the States, and then the eventual shutdown of NXT UK, and again NXT Europe. I just want your thoughts as obviously a UK-based wrestler. The thoughts of NXT UK shutting down.
I'm actually obviously gutted for the boys. I mean, it's and the way that it happened as well. You know, it wasn't like there was any warning of it. It was just like, yeah, they're going good, and then just suddenly. And you got some great guys on there. I mean, again, Wild Boar, absolutely gutted for him because he's such a workhorse. He's such a great talent, you know, and he's got character as well. And it's something that I think wrestling needs these days is like these big characters. Because when you look back, like the main people you remember are the characters. It's not how good they looked or how good they wrestled. It's just the character that came with them, you know. And he's definitely one of those that are memorable. And obviously a lot of the Welsh boys there, I mean, Flash, Mark Andrews, or Eddie Dennis, absolutely gutted for them, really. But again, every cloud, I suppose, I mean, you get a chance now to actually see them on local shows and be able to see them traveling around the country again, you know. So it's kind of, it's a funny situation and really gutted for the boys. But like I say, I mean, we just have to see what comes of it, really.
Nah, of course, you know, anytime, you know, anyone loses, you know, their source of income, we always wish the best for them to find new ways to get that income. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on to WWE is coming to Cardiff next Saturday for Clash at the Castle. Obviously, this is the first, you know, UK stadium show since SummerSlam back in the early 90s. I just wanted your thoughts as well, you know, WWE coming back to the UK and at Cardiff, you know, how does you feel as obviously someone from the UK, but also being a wrestler as well? Do you feel this sort of pride that they've chosen Cardiff?
Well, yeah, it's kind of obviously they haven't got enough Welsh dragons on the card. I think they could put maybe one more on, but no, I think it's great for wrestling in general, especially wrestling in the UK. It's gonna boost everything. Like I say, people are going to be going to watch wrestling more, and it's gonna, like, audiences numbers should go up because, you know, they just want to see wrestling, you know, and especially the guys who haven't been able to get tickets to go to Cardiff. Obviously there's other shows that they could go to see top quality wrestling, you know. It's like I said, obviously the atmosphere and everything in Cardiff is going to be something else, but it should have that kind of I used to know it as the Karate Kid effect. You know, when the Karate Kid films used to come out on TV at Christmas time, guaranteed in January, all the karate clubs would be packed because people want to learn the karate. So this should do the same for British wrestling, you know.
I very much so. I mean, you just have to look at Cardiff as well. Everything's all designed up, ready for it. It's like a goddamn homecoming for the company.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's it. I mean, there's no better. Like I say, the stadium is like there's no better place to hold an event like that. And like I said, you just got to see from what happened with SummerSlam in '92. I mean, something that big coming to Wembley. I mean, the same thing going to happen in Cardiff. It's going to boost everything, you know.
It's going to do well for the whole environment. It's going to give Cardiff that wee boost of income as well, and that's what we want as well. Exactly. Just to see everyone doing well from it.
Yeah, that's it. And like I say, to have guys like Roman Reigns and those guys just in Cardiff is something like you don't really think about. You think like they're so such big stars and stuff like that, and then just to see them kind of walking around, because I saw pictures the other day of 2 wrestlers going on tour around Cardiff Bay and stuff like that, and you think, well, I was only there a couple of days ago, you know, that kind of thing, and you're seeing these guys there now. It's great. I think it's great.
I was again Star Trek feature, just seeing like, hey, I'd been there maybe on like a bender on a Saturday night, and it's like, holy shit,
exactly. You get these guys who it's like there's a Comic-Con on in Newport a couple of weeks back, and John Cena was there, and you're thinking like, John Cena, he's a major star, you know, and just to see him kind of like just down the road, it's something else. It is something else.
Very much something as well as something UK fans are always hoping for is a WrestleMania to be hosted in the UK. Do you think it should be in Cardiff, or do you think there's somewhere else more appropriate for a WrestleMania of that scale of event to be held in the UK?
Do you know what? I think Cardiff would be the place. I know I'm being biased and stuff like that, but I think Cardiff would be the place to have it. I mean, that stadium's something else. The atmosphere in that stadium, I mean, you can't find that anywhere. You know what I mean? So if it's going to be held somewhere, I think somewhere that's got, again, that kind of character, that kind of atmosphere, that kind of prestige to it, I think it would be a great place to hold a WrestleMania.
Hey, we can dream, and hopefully it'll come soon enough.
That's it, exactly.
Well, we're coming to the end of our time here, so I just want to get our viewers a chance to see more of yourself as well as Welsh wrestling. So what's the rest of the year looking like for yourself and the promotion?
Very busy. Like I say, the summer holidays, the summer tour that we thought was finishing beginning September is now going on to mid-September. And once that's done, we're back on the road doing the town shows every week, kind of like most Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays are all busy with just shows all over the place. I mean, if you search for Welsh Wrestling on either Facebook or Instagram, or if you go on my Instagram page or Facebook page, I mean, the dates get shown there. So wherever we're in the area, if you guys want to see some wrestling, just search us up.
Well, fair. Our fans in the UK, you know where to go now. Book that train ticket and get yourself over to Wales, eh?
Exactly.
Well, thanks very much for coming on the show, pal. And, as I say to our viewers, you can find more episodes of the Soul Sessions on the Wrestling Republic YouTube channel, as well as check out Wrestling Republic for your other wrestling needs. I've been your host. Have a lovely day and stay good.